blotting out the morning sun and turning the sky into a dim, suffocating haze. What began as a series of distant explosions, echoes of Ukrainian drone strikes, quickly spiraled into something far more severe. Storage tanks ignited, pipelines ruptured, and within hours the fire had spread across the facility, feeding on vast reserves of oil. Residents first noticed the smell. It crept in through windows and door frames, sharp and chemical, clinging to the air. By the second day, it was everywhere. Ash mixed with oily residue began settling over streets, cars, rooftops, coating the resort town in a grim, sticky film. The sea breeze, once a source of relief, now carried toxic smoke inland. People gathered in small groups, speaking in low, anxious tones. Some stared at their phones, scrolling through fragmented updates. Others simply looked up at the burning skyline, asking the same question in disbelief. How is this happening to us? Emergency services struggled to contain the blaze. Fire crews rotated in and out, overwhelmed by the scale and intensity. Authorities issued cautious advisories, but confusion spread faster than clarity. Rumors of evacuation began circulating, first whispers, then urgent discussions. Families packed bags, unsure whether to leave or wait. Days passed, and the fire still raged. The terminal, once a symbol of industry and economic flow, had become a source of environmental crisis. The air grew heavier, harder to breathe. Schools closed, streets emptied. The rhythm of daily life broke down under the weight of uncertainty. For some, the disaster felt like a distant war suddenly arriving at their doorstep, not in headlines or broadcasts, but in the air they breathed and the ground beneath their feet. It forced a confrontation with realities many had kept at arm's length. And yet, amid the fear and confusion, there were quieter moments. Neighbors helping each other seal windows, put masks, checking on the elderly. In those moments, the chaos gave way, briefly, to something more human. The smoke still hung over Tuapse, thick and unyielding, but beneath it, life persisted, uneasy, shaken and searching for clarity in a situation that no longer felt distant or abstract. On May 1st, Russians are being welcomed in full force, and it all started with their belief that they would capture Kyiv in 3 days. Well,
warmest greetings to you all. This is exactly how the 1st of May appears to us here, in the heroic city of Kyiv. I wish you all a very happy holiday, my dear comrades.
Russian communist volunteers have arrived in Tuapse for a cleanup. They spoke respectfully about the armed forces of Ukraine. Zero mentions of the war.
Representing the Call of the Heart charitable organization, alongside the dedicated party activists from the Communist Party branch in Novorossiysk, we have officially arrived here in the city of Tuapse to provide necessary assistance and address the severe aftermath of the critical emergency situation that unfolded just a few days ago as a direct result of the recent attacks carried out by the armed forces of Ukraine. We are sincerely hoping that we can find a way to resolve all of this before the potential consequences of our actions have the chance to escalate into something truly catastrophic.
A Russian woman looks out the window in Tuapse and can't believe her eyes. It's like the end of civilization. Only you're seeing it with your own eyes, the woman says in amazement.
It's really like a movie about the end of the world, at the end of civilization, only you're seeing these bits and pieces with your own eyes.
Yes, these ones, of course, indeed.
Russians are starting to suspect that something might be kept from them. However, they still haven't figured out why all this horror is happening to them. The cause and effect relationship is still missing.
The country is very kind. I'm burning out again. Just put it out now. Another strike overnight. I keep thinking that one day this will all be over. Poor city folk,